In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to build authority online. Most people think that authority is about fame, about followers, or about some magical expert status. But in reality, authority is earned every time somebody searches by asking a question in your niche. Imagine how they feel when they find you ranking at the top. Now, it also matters when you're found. You want to be found at the right moment. Why is it that most experts are completely invisible when it really counts? And why is it that their message never reaches the people that are searching for it? Let's dive right in. So when we talk about authority, we're not just talking about perception, but are you actually able to be found, right? So you can look like an expert, you can look like you have a lot of authority, your website, your logo, your branding, but how are you positioned and where are you positioned? And are people able to find you? So imagine all around the world, there are many people searching for you right now. And imagine that you are being recommended to all of them. So when I'm talking about authority in this video, I mean when somebody goes to Google, YouTube, or ChatGPT and they're searching for your topic, that you're found at the top every time. Now, this doesn't require being famous, okay? And it's not gonna make you famous, but it's gonna make you be seen as the #1 thought leader in your space. You don't need to go viral. In fact, viral can hurt you, but you just need to teach. You need to really give value. And the simplest way I can say this is all you have to do is answer questions that your dream clients are asking. Most of what's being taught about building authority, even right here on YouTube, doesn't lead to building authority because it doesn't lead to being discovered. So great branding is good, it can help, but good branding doesn't do anything if it's not being seen by people. I mean, let's say you're a restaurant owner and you build this amazing building, exterior, beautiful restaurant, the interior is great, you've got a great menu, you've got a great staff, but no one can find the restaurant or no one even knows it exists. Then obviously that restaurant would be out of business pretty soon. But you can have a food truck that's parked in the right place and you've got people lining up around the corner. Now, when we watch TV or the news or some type of podcast interview or things like that, we see those people as authority figures, right? Now, being an authority like that or being put in those positions, it can help. I get interviewed on podcasts quite often. This whole year, I've gotten 2 clients from dozens of podcast interviews. So I'm not discouraging you from doing those, but if you want to build authority, that's a very slow way of doing it. Now, when I ask around and see what people think will build their authority, the most common response that I get is that they need to create more short form content. They feel like shorts are really easy to go viral, and they think that virality is really going to help them. If they just get seen by more people, then more people will hire them. The reality is that's actually going in the opposite direction. You don't want to go viral because when something goes viral, you're not controlling who sees it, but you want a very specific audience to find you, those that are searching for your expertise, not those that are entertained or that really enjoy your video. For other people, it's different types of social media, but they think if I'm just posting a lot and I'm posting in multiple places, that's really helping me to market my business. Well, what that does is it nurtures your existing tribe, right? So if you post on Facebook, you're nurturing your Facebook friends or your LinkedIn connections, or if you send out an email, you're nurturing your email list, your email subscribers. But nurturing and marketing are 2 different things. They're both important, but a lot of people are doing a ton of nurturing and they think that they're marketing, but there's no marketing going on. Another piece of advice you'll hear about building authority from people like Gary Vaynerchuk is that you just need to be everywhere. You need to spam the planet. Really, that just burns a lot of energy and it makes it so you won't succeed in any one place. So if you're to take all that energy and focus it on one platform with a specific formula or the ingredients necessary to succeed on that platform, you're way more likely to succeed. The interesting thing is, that's what Gary Vee did. He focused on one platform only until he got successful, and then he added a second platform. So feel free to expand once you've gotten success on one. So you've got to be careful when somebody's sharing advice of what they're doing right now. That doesn't mean that you're at that stage and that you should follow that either. So what I'm teaching you in the beginning, you need to pick one platform that you know you can get results on. Now here's the cool thing about being found at the top when people have never heard of you before, but that's where they find you. You don't have to claim your authority. You don't need to state your credentials. You don't need to give them your background information. The strategy that I teach allows you to just really focus on them, and it builds a relationship of trust. Now, it's very, very important that you teach what you know and don't repeat someone else's teaching or someone else's framework, that you don't leverage AI to write your scripts or come up with the ideas for you. In order to be seen as the authority, you do need to have expertise. And all you have to do is then share that expertise. So level 1 is if you're at point A and you figured out how to go to point B. Okay, now you've learned something and you have experience. You're kind of like a level 1 authority, okay? What's level 2? Well, level 2 is if you can take other people that are at point A and get them to point B. Now you're at level 2 because you successfully helped someone else. And if you do that real consistently, and now you have case studies and testimonials, and people are finding you at the top and they see these case studies and these testimonials, you'll be the #1 authority in their mind. Now, a lot of people have this fear of impostor syndrome. They don't want to appear like somebody else, but they feel like on YouTube they have to pretend, they have to be someone else. And I just think that's nonsense. You don't want to do that. What you want to be is yourself. You've got biases, you've got your own experience, you've got your own stories, you've got your successes and failures, and I want all of that to come out. So when you do research, the way to get rid of imposter syndrome is to research and find the questions that your dream clients are asking. Now, they're your dream clients for a reason, and they're searching for your expertise, not somebody else's. They don't want regurgitated stuff. They don't want an answer that ChatGPT would give because they could just get that without you. Tell them about a story when you tried it and it worked, and something else you tried and it didn't work, and why you've honed in on this line of thinking or this strategy. Doing that will filter some people out, but that's what you want because it will have the other people grab hold of you. They trust you and they'll want to work with you. Now, I teach a weekly webinar and I try to do that. I try and really showcase the difference between my strategy and most other YouTube strategies. And I show a lot of case studies. I take people behind the scenes so they can really understand. And typically, after that webinar, when I have a conversation with somebody, they'll be convinced on that first call that they want to work with me. When I have that approach and I build that trust and I give them everything through teaching, when we have a conversation, typically they become a client with that first or second conversation. Every piece of content that you create needs to answer a question that your target audience or that your dream clients is asking. Every piece of content. So if we're talking about videos, every video would be focused on answering their question. The more videos you have ranking at the top means that the more questions you are seen as the expert. So the more authority you want to build, the more places you've got to rank at the top. Now, authority doesn't mean knowing everything. There are a lot of questions where you might not be the ultimate expert on it, but you've got an interesting take. So you're going to start out the video and say that. Say, a lot of people are answering this question here. They're going to teach you the 5 steps to do that. I admit, I do things a little bit differently, so I'm going to share with you my perspective. Here's what it is. So this type of strategy of building real authority isn't for influencers, those that want to make a ton of ad revenue and those that want to be famous and have millions of subscribers. We're not talking about a social media influencer that's just famous or popular. This is a strategy for business owners that see YouTube as a tool. So they're not becoming a YouTuber as their career. YouTube is just a tool that will generate leads for their business. Now, it's a serious tool. Many of my clients have brought in an additional 7 or 8 figures in their business just by following this strategy. Now, this doesn't work for every business, so let me qualify it for you. If your business has a teaching or an educational component, like you're a speaker or a coach or consultant, or you sell courses, or you do some type of training, okay? Those type of businesses can really leverage this strategy well because, again, you find your audience's questions and you're going to answer their questions. So you have to have the answers. Also, this is not a cold lead generation program. This is going to generate leads that are very warm. They trust you already. So it's like a referral generating program. So if this is important to you and you want to be the one that people find when they're searching on Google, YouTube, and ChatGPT, I invite you to learn about my Leaf strategy. I do a free webinar every week. So I'll list that right here. It'll also be down in the description below. Go to theleafstrategy.com. So not only will you learn what the Leaf strategy is and how to find the questions and how to create the right type of videos, By the end of this training, you'll be able to see with real clarity what's realistic for you and your business. This is a new avenue for you, and I want you to come away with real clarity, knowing exactly what's possible, how many leads you could be generating a month. I'll see you there.